Hello YouTube, it's Tardy1 here. In today's video we are going to do we're going to do some scary stories animated videos, reviews, and reaction videos. So there's two stories and they are by Llama Arts. If you guys don't know, go check out their stories. They do really good stories and stuff. I really like their stuff. And another one I like too, though I'll let you guys know about, is Horror Shorts Party. They're actually pretty good too, and I like Dark and Twisted too. Those two are really good. If you haven't heard of those, go check those guys out. All those out, and if you guys like their stuff, hit subscribe to them and enjoy their stories. These two stories are called Dark Web horror stories. So here we go.
I was on tour trying to find some really deep websites. I was in a chat room where people normally shared links to deeper websites and weird pictures and videos, commonly illegal pornography. Some guy named Vintage Triple X posted a link without describing what it was. I clicked on it, and it took me to a black screen where a big video box eventually popped up with a play button. The video thumbnail was a dark room, only lit by a TV screen. Out of curiosity, I clicked play and began to hear the sound of TV static in the background as lines of static slowly swam down the video screen. There was no seek bar in this video. Then I noticed something slowly begin to emerge from behind the wall. It was a figure dressed in all black with some kind of black mask on as well. I started to suspect it was a jump scare video, and I thought I was right when the figure leaped out and ran to the screen in less than a second.
Holy shit.
It still got me, even though I was expecting it, but then it got strange. The person had their face in front of the screen, slowly moving around as if he could see me and was observing me. Then I heard a crackly, demonic voice say something. It came from the video. It repeated itself, and I could make the phrase out to be, "Ask me something." I was really confused. I tried typing something, but there was nowhere to enter text. Then he said, "No, not the keyboard. Say something." I felt my heart punch the inside of my chest as he said this.
My heart would pound inside of my chest if I had that
one. I mumbled the words, "You can hear me?" It responded with, "Yes." I was uncomfortable now. I thought it was a video. I pressed pause, but it didn't do anything. He said, "Don't try to leave. I want to talk." I tried moving the mouse to the exit button, but the mouse was frozen. In fact, none of the keys were responding on my keyboard. There was a long moment of silence.
That would suck.
Before my webcam began flashing as if it were on, and my face popped up on the screen. "There, I got a picture of you now. Now just hang on while I get your address, and then we can meet." I started to panic, switching every key on the keyboard, spazzing the mouse, but it did nothing.
At that moment, I would have taken the laptop and I'd have broken it.
The computer wouldn't turn
off. Or I'd have put it out with fire.
The voice was saying crazy things like, "You're stuck here. I will find you. Don't even bother." I snatched the screwdriver sitting on my desk, unscrewed the 4 screws on the bottom of my laptop, and took out the battery. The computer finally turned off. I was gasping for air as if I just ran a marathon. My heart was pounding 5 times as fast as it should have. I have since left my laptop off after that, and have resorted to using my desktop as my main computer.
Yeah, I would have too.
I'm sure by now nothing will happen.
At least you got it back up.
I definitely didn't have enough time to get my address.
I check under my bed before I went to bed, making sure everything's good.
Bill sausage strips on BLT, SLT, whatever.
Damn
it's
commercials.
A life changer.
Alright, guys. This one is Dark Web Horror Story number 2. This one's a little bit longer than the first one.
I was 26 years old, and I was unemployed. Feeling unfulfilled by the
Kinda
monotony of
sucks.
the job life, I decided I would try my hand at
It
working
is what
from
it
home.
is.
So my days and nights comprised me of surfing the internet for any jobs I could get.
Right.
I was a big procrastinator, so more often than not, I'd stray away and waste time doing other things.
Watching
One day,
PewDiePie.
I came across talk about the deep web while on Reddit. I felt amused by the people talking about it as if it was something so scary, and decided I'd look into it. It was stupid of me to go on it in the first place, but I made it even sillier by deciding to check it out late at night. It was about 2 a.m. and I came across a website where you could chat with someone anonymously. The person I got was a woman. She was in her early 20s and very pretty. She sat with her head in her hands, looking playful into the webcam while batting her eyes. I had no desire to turn my camera on and started our chat, thinking that while I didn't come across anything scary, I could befriend this pretty girl. It sounded like a better deal anyway. She told me to turn the camera on, but I ignored that request and tried to get her to talk. She finally did after some prodding, but I noticed how guarded she was. I also noticed how after every message I sent, her eyes would look off camera, either to her side or somewhere behind her computer. After a while, it started getting annoying, so I asked her if someone else was there with her.
I want to see you first.
She said. Up until now, I'd been chatting while she'd answered my questions verbally. I'm not that curious,
Don't be scared.
she said, laughing, this time looking behind the laptop again and making a face that seemed to indicate she was laughing at my expense, with someone else. This is getting boring. It feels like I'm not just talking to you.
That's because you're not. You're talking to all of us.
Who else is there?
Turn your camera on.
Is this a joke?
Turn it on.
I'd be a little
I'll be
confused too, like typing this
Turn
person.
on the camera.
Her laughter was almost piercing by now. There was nothing humorous about the situation, yet she threw her head back with riotous laughter.
I don't like that.
I'd had enough and moved the cursor
That's a
over to turn the
big-
chat box
that's a
off.
big old grin,
I saw the
too.
cursor had jammed. The only thing that was working was the chat box, and I still had access to the keyboard.
Turn the camera on, sweetie.
Her gumdrop-filled voice was louder than before, and I moved my gaze up to see her smiling tunefully at the camera. Her face still beautiful, but the smile completely fake. My computer's crashed. I can't see the screen. Sorry. I lied. I didn't want her to know I had no option but to chat. Her screen flashed before going blank. There was nothing there but a black screen. I felt relieved.
There's
Thinking
nothing
that at least
there.
I didn't need to talk to her
After
while I tried to figure out
Not
what
much
happened to the
communication. I'd have done
Just
skipped
then,
and
screen. A chat
went on to
message.
something else.
Does your car need a new fuel pump? Get the right parts right now at carparts.com.
I hate commercials.
Got
If
the
anybody
same
wants to know,
description
this is
of
kind of the
it.
only way I can
I'm beautiful
do reaction
home, garden,
videos
and
and
outdoor
stuff for right now until I can get me a desktop. It's kind of what I'm putting my money towards
The
later.
aggressiveness in the message frightened me. Now, the fact that I couldn't see her face while she typed this made me feel nervous. I didn't dare reply back.
So sorry if I'm
Then the
not
cursor moved.
showing myself when I'm doing these
I
reaction
watched
videos, but
shell-shocked as the cursor
my-
twirled around the
my
screen.
my opportunity
I
is
still
to
didn't
go
make a
towards
move.
a desktop,
There was no way anything good would be
which is what
waiting
I'm
for me
aiming
if
for.
I did what she
a
asked.
desktop monitor
The
computer.
screen began flickering, as if a virus was causing the computer to writhe in agony.
Ooh,
My heart
I
raced.
don't like that.
Could it be possible she knew where I was? I started typing. Please stop bothering me.
Then turn on the fucking camera.
By this point, I
Dang.
thought she was some kind of sadist.
I don't like
Got
that.
kicks by scaring unassuming people in chat rooms. So I obliged and turned the webcam on. I saw my frightened face staring into the screen. Judging by my face, my attempts at looking tough were painfully unsuccessful. I asked around for the girl looking straight into the camera, telling her I did what she wanted and to stop hacking into my computer. There were several seconds of silence. I kept my stare directed to the little box that showed her camera feed, but it was pitch black. I motioned into the camera in confusion, feeling as if she was messing with me now. Then I saw another message.
Look here.
After a few seconds of staring at those words, I looked back at her camera, but my computer instantly malfunctioned, and I received another message.
Look here. Don't look up.
The chat was filled with nonsensical gibberish. She typed with such ferocious speed, my screen whirled away with her constant messages. I couldn't understand what was going on.
I wouldn't either.
I didn't look up. My patience ran thin, and I wrote back, "What is this supposed to mean?" Her response came. I read only the letters in bold and shuddered. I looked back into her webcam, and I fell back into my chair, my eyes widening. She was back there, only her face looked completely demented. She had a savage expression,
Yeah.
devoid of emotion, but her eyes were almost popping out of their sockets, and she was huffing as if she had extreme amounts of pent-up rage. The way she looked directly into the camera made me feel she despised me with all of her being. There was no amusement there anymore. Her camera went blank again. Then the
Crying
chat
out
popped
loud.
up. My heart stopped again. For a split second, there had been the same blackness, only for the lights to come back on. She
Ooh.
wasn't alone anymore. There was a man next to her with a black mask on. He made no movements other than look into the camera like the girl. The girl's neck creaked to her side. It looked like it was causing her pain, and then the lights went out again. The chat resumed. This time, I screamed in fright and fell off my chair. There was another man with them now. He was standing next to the girl with the original one on the other side. This man had the same mask on, but his hands were grasping the girl's shoulders. Even with the subpar quality of the webcam, I could see the force with which the man dug his hands into the girl. It looked like he could rip her in two. The girl, however, had a huge grin on her face. Her eyes were mad with glee, or so it looked. Her teeth were perfectly lined up as her mouth spread into that toothy grin, but I could see she was in pain. Even with the smallest sign of her smile fading, the man clenched his hands even tighter than before, which made her smile even wider. All three of them were shaking, as if it was extremely cold where they were. After a couple seconds, I realized they were shuddering, like trying to hold back laughter. "What are you laughing at?" I yelled into the screen.
Yeah.
They didn't answer, and continued to tremor with concealed hilarity. "What is so damn funny?"
That's what I would say.
They stopped shaking. Within a couple seconds, the screen went black again. When it turned back on, the man no longer grasped the girl's shoulder. Neither was she smiling. All three pointed into the camera. Upon a closer look, I understood they weren't pointing at me.
No.
I didn't need to look back. I could see myself in the webcam. There was someone peeking from behind me. It was another man in a mask. According to what I saw on my webcam, he was with me in my room, right behind me. I turned around quickly, but saw nothing where I had seen him in the webcam. I turned back towards the screen and, to my bewilderment, saw a third man in the girl's chat box. It was the same man I had just seen standing in my room. Now, all three had their hands on the girl and were gripping tight. The girl wasn't laughing anymore. She had a look of utter
They're gonna rip her in
devastation.
3 pieces, aren't
A
they?
tear was dropping from her eye. But it wasn't just a tear. It was blood trickling down her eye socket. She then mouthed the words, "Help me," and the next second she screamed as if her lungs were being ripped off as the screen went black. I immediately got up and pulled the plug out of my computer and backed out of the room. For a couple seconds, I swear I heard her screams, even though the computer was unplugged. The room went quiet, but I was too devastated to stay there and ran out of my house despite it being 3 a.m. I caught a cab and went over to my friends, who had to talk me down for an hour before I could be calmed. I returned back to my house with my friend a day later. Everything was the same, and after thoroughly checking around the house, we concluded that there was no one there, nor was there a sign of anyone ever having broken in. I've never gone back to the deep web. My friend suggested it.
I wouldn't either. I don't know why you would.
But the way that girl shrieked, the terror she had on her face, it convinced me she had been a victim herself. I wondered if I had stayed on for longer, if I would have become a victim too. Could those men have found me? Was there really someone in the room with me? There was nothing I could do, because there was nothing concrete to report to the police. What I did do was throw the computer out and buy a new one.
I'd have burned it.
There was no way I could even open it back up after what happened.
Whew. Yeah. I don't think I would go back on to the dark web either. And let me tell y'all, don't go to the dark web. Whatever you do, don't search anything on there. A lot of bad vibes on there. Some of the stuff on there that I don't really know of, but I'm sure majority of the stuff on there I wouldn't even mess with. And there's stuff there that are unanswered that nobody even knows what to do with. And I know there's people that have probably messed around with that stuff and they shouldn't be, but people are people, I guess. But all I'm saying is stay away from the dark web. Don't go on there for anything. But that is some scary stuff, though, I gotta admit. I definitely wouldn't know what to do if I had something behind me, and yeah, know that I should take a good look. But yeah, I definitely would too. Post a comment in the section below. If you guys like the stories, the two stories, hit the like button. And if you guys like more of these, let me know in the comment section below. And if you're new to the channel, don't forget to hit subscribe. And I will see you all in the next video. Bye!